Hey everybody, welcome back to the work week. This is the HotSpot. I'm Jason Salas, and here is what we're covering today.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh Garden Bar.
Your Monday afternoon menu looks like this. Unsealed documents in the federal court reveal 2 pounds of meth intercepted in 2020. National headlines, baby formula shortage concerns are being addressed, and GCC programs and boot camps are coming right up. Well, right off the top in our afternoon show, a package that was sent from Woodland Hills, California to a residential address on Chalangualic up in Dedido was intercepted by law enforcement officers containing 911 grams or 2 pounds worth of meth. In documents that were unsealed in the federal court Friday, a search warrant for the parcel was executed in August of 2020. Along with the meth, there was insulation, saran wrap, dryer sheets, carbon paper, and paper towels in the package. No charges have been filed in federal court relative to those findings. Well, GovGuam's general fund revenue soared by almost $20 million from last month. The latest consolidated revenue and expenditure reports released Friday shows revenue tracking at $87 million more than projected. This is compared to last month's $68 million track. Income tax revenue is tracking at almost $36 million more than expected. April, of course, is the tax deadline and typically the biggest months for collections, as you know. Speaking of taxes, some good news for you if you are awaiting your tax refund, as over the weekend, the Department of Revenue and Taxation processed the Department of Administration mailed checks or paid by direct deposit approximately 2,100 tax year 2021 and prior income tax refunds totaling almost $6.6 million for error-free returns filed on March 31st. Tax refund payments this fiscal year total $134.2 million, of which approximately $105 million were paid to early files who filed before the end of March. If you wish to check the status of your tax refund, check out the Contact Us section on myguamtax.com. In national headlines, the first plane load of baby formula arrived in the U.S. from Germany as the Biden administration tries to resolve a shortage hitting too close to home for parents from across the country.
The U.S. military cargo plane carrying 78,000 pounds of desperately needed baby formula landed in Indianapolis. Sunday's Operation Fly Formula flight from Germany was the first of several expected from Europe this week. The C-17 brought in 132 pallets of Nestle brand specialty formula.
It is a large shipment of very specific and specialized formula. Formula for moms and dads who have children who have allergies, where the regular formula just simply will not work.
The White House is scrambling to bring relief to parents.
Exactly what emergency medical service workers do on a daily basis, especially during the course of the pandemic. Isaiah Uggan has more in this story.
Rising to the challenge, that's exactly what emergency medical service workers do on a daily basis, especially during the course of the COVID-19 pandemic. EMS Strong, Rising to the Challenge is this year's theme, and the contributions of those in the EMS field did not go unnoticed during the award ceremony and proclamation signing Friday morning at the Guam Community College's multi-purpose auditorium. As various first responders and fire departments on the island gathered for the first time in over 2 years, Governor Lulian Guerrero proclaimed May 15 through the 21st as EMS Week, which honors those who serve on the front lines. Joseph Sablon, a fire lieutenant at the Guam Fire Department, shared how it felt to be celebrated with his peers after not gathering to recognize their achievements in the last 2 years due to COVID.
It felt pretty great. I mean, it's been a forthcoming. It's been a while, 2 years in the making, where, we're all focused on COVID, and it was an honor, a privilege to be out here, and it felt really good. Bring back the EMS committee again.
Sablon was the recipient of the Advanced EMT Award.
Really, the award is not just for me. It's a culmination of all of us doing the work together, because every one of us does great work, especially during these times of COVID.
Lino Garcia, a fire lieutenant of Anderson Fire, earned the EMT Provider of the Year, and he explained that it was a team effort.
The appreciation and the gratitude, like LT said, but also to know that EMS providers are public servants, and we're here for the public, we're here for the people of Guam, and we work together as a team.
Garcia shared the best part of the job.
The intrinsic fulfillment is the biggest highlight of the job. You just feel like you're giving back. They say it takes a village to raise one, and I think for us, being able to put a smile on people's face and when people are in need of help. I think that's the biggest highlight of our job, is just to be there for them.
In recognition of EMS Week, public and federal students were shown the ropes of the fire department. Island residents received a free training of basic information of CPR, parade of lights, and the Teddy Bear Clinic.
Please stay tuned. Coming up when HotSpot returns, great programs taking place at the Guam Community College. We're going to tell you about them when we return.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam On Demand.
No waiting in line to see your doctor or to pick up your medication. From tips to living a healthier lifestyle, nutrition and fitness, to the latest wellness trends, stay healthy by checking in for your weekly dose of health news on Health Check every Tuesday on KUAM News Extra. Health Check is presented by Island Cancer Center.
It's very difficult for the family because you too go through everything that they go through. Maybe not in the same way, but you're still there.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
The most tempting part of your week is guaranteed to be Subway and Chili's lunchbox hours. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Breeze 93.9 FM. Catch the greatest hits of your lifetime from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s while you grub on a mouth-watering Subway footlong sandwich or tantalizing flavors you love from Chili's. Your lunchbox hours brought to you by Subway and Chili's.
Do you love live sports? Then you need GTA Digital TV. GTA has the most sports SD and HD channels on Guam. ESPN, Fox, NFL Network and Red Zone, NBA TV in HD, and so much more. We got MMA and boxing fans covered too. Plus, with TV everywhere, never miss the big game or fight again. Get your sports on with GTA Digital TV.
Watch Mariana's artists, activists, and visionaries and their quest to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture on The Culture Club, a weekly feature on KUAM News digital platforms and the KUAM News Weekend Edition. Brought to you by Tropical Ice.
It's deep diving into what's making news, listening to your feedback, and getting you the answers you deserve. Plus, remembering to laugh a little too. Join me, Chris Barnett, on The Link, live streaming video on the KUAM News Facebook page and YouTube channel, and broadcast live on the Breeze 93.9 FM, KUAM.com, and the KUAM News app. Miss The Link, miss a lot, so don't miss it.
The Link is presented by IT&D, Calvo Enterprises Inc., Jack in a Box, and Pacific Points. See what's on TV tonight with schedules, network news and notes, local promotions and giveaways on KUAM Communications social media pages. Like and follow us on Facebook or Instagram now for all the latest and never miss out.
KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
Welcome back to the Hotspot, everybody. We are live on KUAM TV 8 on YouTube and on Facebook. And our friends over at GCC, the Guam Community College, are celebrating 45 years this year. And the college continues to thrive with some great programs and boot camps. And joining me live in studio to tell me more is Denise Mendiola, the Assistant Director for Continuing Education Workforce Development. Got to catch my breath, Denise, because your title is so long. First of all, how wonderful it is to see you in person. After 2 years, I've interviewed you a cajillion times and everything like that. We weren't able to do it, obviously, because that whole pandemic thing, but welcome to the studio and welcome back. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. I just realized it was Zoom the last time we were on the show. It was always online for the last 2 years.
I mean, we could pretend again,
we did that.
You know, if you want, like, okay, like here. This is basically my Zoom experience for you for like the last 2 years.
No, I get it. I get it.
Okay, so first of all, most pressing issue we got to talk about. Boot camps are wonderful. They've been going on. You have been helming these things, I guess, and you and many other people like working behind you. How well have they been attended? Because I mean, they're intended for rapid response. They get our workforce, completely trained up, qualified up, certified up, whatever you call it, and everything. How have they taken off in your assessment as far as the success rate?
Well, GCC was started doing the boot camps in about 2018 timeframe, and then since then it just created its own momentum, and it's grown tremendously, throughout the last couple of years that I've been there. And then when the pandemic happened, and because there was such a need to shift into different industries, then we saw an even bigger increase in demand. People that no longer had jobs in the hotel industry and needed to get into something better and something more stable and sustainable. And so it's been growing since then. And to this day, we still have a ton of boot camps lined up. We still have 100% participation rate. Our completion rate is about 85%. So it's been doing really well.
That's really, really good. And I know, so you've had shipbuilding, you've had construction, you've had, was it medical coding? Was also one, So the memory still works.
Yeah, you remembered.
Yeah, even at my old age. But because it made such an impression on me, and I was like, wow, I wish these things were around for me and my friends when we did it. But the fact that you're making it available to so many Guamanians, whether people want to pivot to a different career, whether they're looking to level up their skills, I mean, is a wonderful opportunity.
I think a lot of the conversation happened around with President Okada and Dave De La Sola from Department of Labor and the administration, and they knew that this needed to be addressed. It needed to happen fast because people needed to work, and because there was such a demand for it, we needed to create a model that allowed them to be able to get that hands-on experience really fast and get their feet in the door. And so it opened up so many opportunities for people that you wouldn't think would be in that kind of industry. So now they have like a bunch of new skills that they bring to the table. And
fast being the operative word, because what is it, the average timeline from beginning to end is 12 weeks, as opposed to maybe a 2, 3, 4 year degree program?
Yes, and it can run from 2 weeks up to 12 weeks.
Well, that's right. You did have you could crank one of these out in like half a month.
Yes, we our IT tech boot camp, because it was so hyper focused on IT, and so every day they're in there from 8 to 5 just learning all that stuff that and I don't. IT stuff. Yeah.
Well, us nerds, we got to stick together.
And they're fast, right? Because they're smart and
everything
and
in the world is digital too.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they had employers already at the other end waiting for them to complete, and they were interviewed and they were hired on. So it was a great way to be able to connect employers that had a need for people with people that had a need to be in new careers. So it was almost like a matchmaking service between the two. Okay,
now obviously you have a strong track record to this point. What boot camps do you have right now and what are coming up?
Right now we have the Child Care Boot Camp. We're partnered with GITA and Department of Public Health.
Very much needed. Child care has been in the headlines a bunch lately.
Huge. And there's so many, it goes so far. This is really just
I love that logo, by the way.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
We have to thank Regine for that. She's so awesome. So Regine Biscoli, she is
former senator.
Yes, so
nice
talented.
Work, Regine.
She just put all of this stuff together, and so she's a great partner with GITA. And so what they're doing is they have this great program that we rolled out to help them with. And right now there are students in the boot camp, but this is the first cohort, but we have 4 cohorts that are going to be planned up until the end of this year. So it really puts them through, again, the fast track training, learning child care development, and all the other stuff that comes with it, like basic life-saving skills and work ethic and all that good stuff, right? So you package it all together. And then the participants, once they complete the boot camp, they get hired on with a daycare center and they get 2 months paid compensation.
I was going to say, talk about that too, because for each of the boot camps, and I mean, the disciplines are so diverse and so, I mean, shipbuilding to childcare. I mean, rarely shall the twain meet. But the
Probably not.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're going to make a ship, somebody's going to watch the kid,
Somebody
right?
needs to watch the kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can make that work.
Can you tell I'm a single pathetic loser?
I know. No, that's not it. But I think that I can see you trying to make the dots connect.
Yeah, but I mean, the one thing that we cannot argue is there is a very specific and proven pipeline for people completing these programs and going straight into the workforce and finding meaningful, lucrative work.
Well, the pandemic has really allowed everybody to kind of change the way things are defined. So when you think childcare, you think just all childcare centers. Now there's a new, there's a model where they can take care of kids at home with the group home care. And now we're thinking, well, who are these childcare providers? It could be the grandparents now. And so they just need to get trained up, and then they have an opportunity to get paid through things like the block grant. So it also provides them additional compensation, but then they get to take care of the family, the kids that they're already taking care of. So different models of being able to provide childcare in the community.
I can see retirees even using what they've done again for for their own grandchildren, or maybe the kids in the neighborhood, turning that into a post-retirement business.
Right, and so this short-term training gives them more of a formal training on this is how you manage a group of kids, right? This is how you make sure that you can provide effective safety and be knowledgeable about the environment and the home that you're providing to them when you're caring for them. So that's where we come in. GCC provides that because we have all of the instructors that provide the formal training. Then we've got the partners, GITA, Public Health, that provide the structure around it, the wraparound services, if you may.
And again, you don't have to take 2 years out of your life, a substantial portion of what you do. You may be working full-time in a different career now. Maybe you can take leave, knock one of these out, and then you're ready to launch on a different career.
It's true, and the thing about it is you get your foot in the door because these training programs also provide college credit. So then it gives you a chance, if you want to come back and earn a certificate or earn a degree, this has been paid for by a funding source. So you get some college credit while you're getting the short-term training. And then if you want to make this a long-term career, then you can come back and do that.
Truly a virtuous cycle.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how can people get involved? How can they find out more information? And more importantly, how can they register if anything we've talked about today, and we hope all of it has piqued anybody's interest about?
Sure. So for the Child Care Boot Camp, they would contact GITA directly. So 647-4332. I memorized it. And then for the other stuff,
both of our memories work at our age.
It's working. And the Ship Repair Boot Camp, we're doing that right now with GCC. So they can contact us directly at 735-5640 or get onto our website and contact us online that way. That's www.guamcc.edu. So the ship repair is the big one that's happening. We have diesel also coming up, so a bunch of stuff.
Oh, like diesel technicians or?
Diesel mechanic, which is a huge need right now, huge demand.
I mean, talk about heavy metal. That's some pretty big.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, I've always just wanted to do that, on live TV. So, you've made one of my dreams come true.
I feel like you should come and talk to the class at some point and just do that.
I can even wear my Motley Crue shirt, drive the point home. Okay, real quick, can you give us a teaser about some of the boot camps coming up down the road?
So we have Diesel that's coming up June 9th. We have medical home health aid that's caregiving, which is a really big need as well in the community. So that's happening June 9th as well. We've got boot camp for ship repair coming up on May 23rd, or I'm sorry, May 31. May 31 is the next ship repair.
So there's ship building and then ship repair now.
It's ship repair really. Marine, like diesel mechanic for marine.
Okay.
Carpentry, plumbing, all of that stuff, HVAC.
Sure.
Yeah, so all of that stuff. And then we've got another bus driving boot camp coming up, and that's with DPW and GRTA. So that's a whole nother industry again, transportation. And that's going to be happening in July.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we only have a few more seconds, and I know you're not you didn't come here to speak on the administration side. So Dr. Okada, just permit me a second. You and I are roughly the same age, right? I know.
Sure.
The last time we reported this, GCC is considering names for for its mascots again. Can we please go back to tradesmen?
Oh, you like that?
I love tradesmen.
Okay.
Like when I was in school, their school colors. Remember when people used to graduate from GCC and they would have the orange and the blue? Yep. Those things look slick when you hang it from the cars after you graduate.
We need to get the alumni folks out there to campaign for that. Yeah.
But you have my vote. I'm just saying,
okay.
Tradesmen
we will
all
mark
the way.
that. We will mark that.
Thank you. Duly noted. All right. Well, Denise, always good to see you. Please come back anytime.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for sharing these boot camps. They're a wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right. Please stay tuned, everybody. We are back right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
It's deep diving into what's making news, listening to your feedback, and getting you the answers you deserve. Plus, remembering to laugh a little too. Join me, Chris Barnett, on The Link, live streaming video on the KUAM News Facebook page and YouTube channel, and broadcast live on The Breeze, 93.9 FM, KUAM.com, and the KUAM News app. Miss The Link, miss a lot, so don't miss it.
The Link is presented by IT&D, Calvo Enterprises Inc., Jack in a Box, and Pacific Point. The most tempting part of your week is guaranteed to be Subway and Chili's lunchbox hours. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Breeze 93.9 FM. Catch the greatest hits of your lifetime from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s while you grub on a mouth-watering Subway footlong sandwich or tantalizing flavors you love from Chili's. Your lunchbox hours brought to you by Subway and Chili's.
Do you love live sports? Then you need GTA Digital TV. GTA has the most sports SD and HD channels on Guam. ESPN, Fox, NFL Network and Red Zone, NBA TV in HD, and so much more. We got MMA and boxing fans covered too. Plus, with TV everywhere, never miss the big game or fight again. Get your sports on with GTA Digital TV.
Local Music Mashup. For the first 3 Thursdays of every month, sit back, relax, and vibe out as we showcase Guam's local talent through their video submissions. Tune in for Local Music Mashup on KUAM TV8 at 6:30 p.m. and TV11 at 7:30 p.m. Or catch it on KUAM digital platforms. You're not going to want to miss this.
Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King, BK Your Way, and American Music, located in the Compadres Mall.
Welcome back to HotSpot, everybody. 2 writers with local ties are behind a recent Pulitzer Prize for Commentary finalist selection. Indigenous human rights lawyer Julian Uggen's piece in The Atlantic was edited by its senior editor with Guam roots, Lenica Cruz. Tomas Manglonia has this story.
For commentary, the finalists are Julian Uggen, freelance contributor, The Atlantic.
He says it was unexpected.
It's pretty surreal.
What's considered the highest honor in journalistic writing bestowed on Guam's Julian Uggen. His piece entitled To Hell with Drowning centers indigenous stories as critical to climate justice. The Pulitzer Prizes described his writing as both heartbreaking and hopeful.
If climate change is indeed the fight of our lives, we will not win that fight by way of facts, but we might by way of stories.
It could be considered an odd proposition coming from a lawyer who tries the facts, but his prose and poetry aren't new to those who know him. His work is expansive and pushes the envelope.
Something about the way we communicate the crisis, it paralyzes our efforts to stop it. And so I really wanted to try to tell stories or tell the climate change story in a really different way, a way that felt intimate and close and personal, and not just alarmist.
He writes in the piece, "If my corner of the earth had an anthem, it'd be this, To Hell with Drowning." Those words were drafted with the help of another Chamorro writer from Guam, Lenica Cruz, who's a senior editor on the culture desk at The Atlantic based in D.C.
It was a really unique opportunity to be able to connect with Julian about this story and to be able to kind of talk about our side of the world to an audience that maybe, Guam, the Pacific Islands are just not really on their radar in the same way.
She says conversations about the piece began in June 2021 during her visit to Guam, and 5 months later, it was published. She admits there wasn't much to edit.
It did something that I feel like I want the best stories to do, which is to disarm you as a reader.
And now perhaps more readers around the world are armed with stories in the fight for climate justice. Tomas Manglonia for KUAM News.
And Tomas is doing double duty for us this afternoon as he has the Getting Digi With It segment now, as he highlights a new social media study related to mental health and how video chatting is changing the game for emergency medical services.
A new study shows how social media may affect mental health. The study from England looked at 154 people between the ages of 18 and 72 who said they use social media every day. Some of them were asked to stop using social media for a week. Others were told to keep scrolling as usual, spending about 8 hours a week on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. When the week was over, researchers said the group that took a break from social media had significant improvements in well-being, depression, and anxiety compared to those who kept up with the social media sites. And in more technology and health-related news, in the states, UVA Health and Madison County EMS are partnering to provide better outcomes for patients suffering from a stroke. UVA physicians can now communicate through video chat with paramedics. Through the new technology called iTreat, doctors can help treat no stroke patients while they're in the ambulance. Deputy Chief of Madison County EMS Gavin Helm says this will benefit the community as fast diagnosis and treatment are crucial to those suffering a stroke.
All right, everybody, that is going to do it for our show for this afternoon. And as my 2-year-old cousin says, we got to go bye-bye. So we hope you enjoy the rest of your lunchtime, and we will see you tonight at 6 for Primetime.